just under 300 years ago, people believed the sun revolved around the earth. Of course, this isn't true, but if you would have said otherwise back then, you would have been the crazy one, not them. They were just as certain of their version of reality as you are of yours right now. And that's where the problem starts. This is the place where what we know, what we think we know, and what we can't even begin to imagine all collide. And honestly, it's where the discovery begins. We like to think we're grounded in truth, like our knowledge is solid, unshakable. Not because we personally verified everything we believe, but because it's reliable, because enough people agree on it. But history shows us something uncomfortable. Not everything we know is correct, and not everything we believe is true. Let's start with what we know, or at least what we think we know, right up until we don't. For centuries, people believed that disease was spread through bad air. This idea was called miasma theory, the idea that disease and sickness was spread through foul-smelling air rather than contact or microorganisms. When outbreaks happened, people tried to get rid of the smell. They thought that if the air was clean, people would be safe. Even when evidence showed that people drinking from the same water source were getting sick, the idea of invisible organisms was dismissed. Not because there was no evidence, but because it didn't match what people already believed. Certainty has never been a guarantee of truth. It's just always been very loud. Then there's what we believe. These aren't facts, they're assumptions. Ideas we absorb without realizing them. Cultural beliefs we grow up around. Habits we copy because that's just how things are. Ideas we treat as universal because everyone around us believes them. But history shows us something uncomfortable. And then there's what we think we know. And then there's what we can't even begin to imagine. This is the part that really messes with people. Today, we still don't know what consciousness is. Why we have this feeling of awareness. We can map the brain, we can track neurons firing, we can even predict behavior. But no one can tell you why you have this feeling of being, this feeling of awareness. Some people think we're close to figuring it out. Others think we're missing something fundamental. But here's the thing. We don't even know what questions we're supposed to be asking yet. This is the part of my speech where I was gonna put a moment where I've been personally wrong, but in my long 17 years of existence, I just can't seem to find one. No doubt there are many, but how about you? Have you ever had a moment when you believed something so strongly and realized you were wrong? Think about it. And how did that make you feel? That is the uncomfortable part. I've just opened up the possibility that a lot of what you believe could be outdated, incomplete, or simply wrong. And we hate that. Humans hate uncertainty. We hate saying, I don't know. Not knowing feels threatening. It feels like weakness. So instead, we cling to certainty. But treating ignorance like a flaw keeps us stuck. Admitting you don't know something doesn't make you less intelligent. It makes learning possible. Curiosity doesn't grow where certainty is protected. It grows where certainty is questioned. If you think we've moved past our old mistakes, let me remind you, we still don't know what consciousness actually is. We don't know whether our reality behaves the way we think it does at extreme scales. And we don't know what most of our universe is made up of. So the next time you feel that moment of confusion, where certainty starts to crack, don't rush to cover it. Stand there. Let yourself be uncomfortable. Let yourself not know. And simply remember this. Everything we've ever discovered started with someone willing to say, wait, what if I'm wrong? Thank you.